Hello all, welcome to our brand new daily show, The Big Story, where we bring you the top stories of the day right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Rachel, coming to you live from the Straits Times. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, so make sure to like, comment, and share with your friends. Also, click on the bell to be notified when we're live. I'll have my newsroom colleagues joining me today on the show to talk about the topics of the day. The trade conflict between the United States and China has been escalating, with the US hiking tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods. Yesterday, Trade and Industry Minister Chan Chun-sing said that the shifting trade patterns between the United States and China will have the greatest consequences for Singapore's economy. To share more about the US-China trade war, I've here with me foreign editor Jeremy Au Yong. Welcome to the show, Jeremy.
Thanks, Rachel.
Jeremy, can you briefly share with us what's the impact on the US-China trade war on Singapore's economy?
Okay, so I think Minister Chan actually did sum it up quite well yesterday, and he said that the trade war will affect global businesses, consumer confidence, and it will hurt global investments. So I think if we boil it down for the layman, what we are seeing now is a period of uncertainty, and uncertainty is bad for business. So if you're a business in the US or China, you don't actually know what kind of tariffs you're facing. In the past year, we've gone from 0% to 10%, and in the past 2 weeks, we've gone from 10% to 25%. And if so happen they reach a deal in the next few months, it might go back to 0%. So as a business, how do you make a decision to invest or purchasing? It's very difficult when there's uncertainty. So that's why we're not expecting, at least in the short term, businesses to invest, and that's going to hurt global growth. Okay. Singapore is a open economy that is exposed to a lot of fluctuations in the global economy. It's exposed to China, is exposed to the US. So if there is going to be a slowdown in both countries, we are going to feel it in Singapore.
Okay, so you say there'll be a slowdown in Singapore's economy, right? But Japan's Nomura Group predicts that because of this tariff, the manufacturers in China will locate to Southeast Asia. So do you think that will change Singapore's direction in terms of where they're heading to in the economy?
Yeah, so I do think a lot of the problems we see now are going to be short-term problems. Okay. I don't think it's clear yet how this whole thing is going to shake out. And already, just in terms of a deal, you can't tell. 1 minute they are really threatening each other. 1 minute they are saying, "Oh, it's looking like we are going to get a deal successfully." Today, Donald Trump is saying, "Oh, it's just a squabble." Yeah. So it's hard to tell how this will shake out. One view is that this is reorganizing the global supply chain. Okay. So China is at the center of the global supply chain, and the tariffs will sort of decouple US and China and move China away from the global supply chain. And as businesses look for new places to manufacture, Southeast Asia is attractive. Okay. So in the long term, it may be that it comes down to Southeast Asia becoming a new hub for manufacturing and the global supply chain. But in the short term, we'll still see a contraction in the US and China, and Southeast Asia will be affected by that.
Okay, so now as you can tell, we'll probably see some instability in terms of the economy. So how can Singaporeans prepare themselves for the coming economic challenges?
So actually, Minister Chan laid out some things that he thought Singapore could do. The first one he said was for Singapore and like-minded countries to continue carrying the message of free trade and to uphold the rules-based free trade order. The second one, and you alluded to that in your first question, was to watch for the shifts. If the trade patterns shift between US and China, then Singapore needs to be prepared to adapt to that. Okay. And we are small enough and nimble enough to do that, I think. The third was to continue to pursue FTAs. Singapore does have free trade agreements with many different countries, and this can help insulate or cushion the blow a little bit of tariffs. And the fourth one was to ensure domestic fundamentals. That means making sure Singapore continues to be a good place for business to be, to have a rules-based, the law and order, and to have a workforce that is highly skilled.
Okay, Minister Chan also spoke about diversifying portfolios. in the economy as well, right?
Yeah. So that's the fifth one. Yeah. So there are a lot of things I think he laid out that Singapore can do. All are good to do, but I don't think there's anything we can do to actually prevent the short-term impact of the trade war.
Okay. So for more stories on the US-China trade war, do log on to straitstimes.com. Up next,